Hello everyone, welcome to Perfect Woman with me, Dr. Kushi Gurubai Thakkar, editor and publisher. It's 7 o'clock and I'm super excited to be having my perfect woman for now, and she is Tulana Hina. She should be joining with us any minute. I'm sending a request to her. She is a corporate lady, and let's get connected to the beautiful soul. And in the meantime, I can see my perfect woman joining me. Thank you so much. So that's wonderful. Hi रश्मि जी, कैसे हैं आप? Okay. आपके पास आना है मुझे फेसबुक लाइव सीखने के लिए. मैं इतने दिन से कह रही हूँ लेकिन आ नहीं रही हूँ, लेकिन बहुत जल्दी आऊँगी क्योंकि सीखना है. कल मेरा एक फेसबुक लाइव सब लोगों ने फिक्स कर दिया मुझे बिना बताए, और मैं ट्राई कर करके आई वॉज दैट टायर्ड कि मैंने फिर गिव अप कर दिया कि मुझसे नहीं होगा. अभी आपके पास आके सीखना है कि फेसबुक लाइव कैसे जाते हैं. She should be joining with me. I can see my perfect woman. My Tulana Hinaji, I have sent a request to you. Do accept and do join in. Zahara Ji, you still look bad. I know. See, it's always subject to your choice that you expect, but it is okay. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Okay, that's Tirana Hina. I have sent in request to you. Again, do accept and do join in. Hi Sanchi. Hi Divya darling, how are you? Good to see all my lovely peoples joining in. अभी निसरीन जी यहाँ थे. निसरीन जी के साथ अभी बहुत जल्दी मेरा फिर से एक वर्कआउट है, and we'll be having a group discussion on transformation. So it should be in couple of days. Let's plan up something good. And I can see my perfect woman. Hi, how are you? Namaste.
I am good. Namaste. Sorry,
Yeah.
some bang, but all good now. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. How about you? Looking very pretty. I was, like when I saw your pictures, you do look completely different there from your pictures.
Huh? Which one is better, this one or that one?
This one.
This one.
Because this one is, again, for me, it was like completely different. The way I saw your picture right now, you're completely different. You look beautiful and much younger than I expected. Like in the pictures, I thought I saw a very mature person. And right now,
Okay.
I see a very normal person and like a very cute little. Good, that's wonderful.
I'm not really a girl. I am, a mother of a 15-year-old boy. So not really a cute little girl, but yes, maybe the pictures come a little older. So yeah.
No, in pictures, you're looking very mature. And right
Yeah.
now, when I see you, you're completely different. Because like when I see pictures, I prepare myself how to talk. Maybe if the person is very mature at times, I have to be very serious. But when I saw you, I was like, oh.
Okay, ये तो कोई बात नहीं. ऐसी तो. So yes, I do have about 17 plus years of experience behind me. So
Yeah.
because
And all about in corporate sector.
all the time in corporate sector, in India, abroad, all the time in HR. So I studied HR from Leeds Business School in UK. I worked in HSBC there for a year in UK, then came back to India because my parents wanted me to get married. So I'm the elder of the three sisters. So got married. Hoti hai na, one after another. Parents still, but second and the third. So got married and been in India since then. So worked in various companies, foreign banks, Indian banks, NBFC. Now I'm working in insurance, heading HR for multiple verticals, channels. So yes, all through a corporate HR person in the last 17 years. Yes.
It was always that you wanted to be, because the way I can see you very, very jolly, very bubbly sort of character. And I feel HR and corporate sector is all about getting into a serious zone. So how do you balance all this?
No, I think that's a misnomer, because corporate is not what it used to be earlier. Or in fact, HR is not what it used to be earlier. HR was earlier called admin department or personal department, where people used to process salaries, process files, किसी का PF नहीं आया, किसी का superannuation, किसी का कुछ paperwork अटका हुआ है, transfers, exits, all of those. Now HR has become a true business partner. We don't call ourselves HR manager or personal manager or HR head. We call ourselves HR business partners. We call ourselves, even the HR head has been renamed as not CHRO, which is Chief Human Resource Officer. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's an obsolete term. The new term is CPO, Chief People's Officer.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. So you have CEO, you have CFO, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer. You also have Chief People Officer. So anything to do with people, is now HR. So if business is not making profit, and that's because of some people decisions, HR gets into it. If business is not happening because people you have to hire or you have to fire, HR gets into it. And obviously, once people get in, then you have to train them, motivate them, engage them, and manage the entire life. So that's what HR has gotten. It's become much more interesting. And because I've been for 17 odd years, so it's much, much more different and much more interesting than when I joined. Yeah, it's not a desk work anymore. It's not a 9 to 5.
Wonderful. That is nice. So how has been the experience for you? I can understand the way you've been like talking to me, you've been expressing me. It's always all about having a fun time in these many years. But if I talk to you from the other part, like how it has been the journey, it was always there in your mind that yes, one day I'll be getting into this corporate. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are very much.
Yeah.
So I lost you in between, but from what I gathered, what it seems like is you always wanted to be. I always wanted to be in the corporate world. I did not know HR or something. HR just happened by chance because I did my MBA in HR. You know how it is in MBA, and I did my MBA from UK. So there also, first year you do general, and second year you're asked to choose a subject in which you'll major in. I got good marks in HR, so I chose HR. I thought marks to अच्छी मिल जाएगी, चलो MBA अच्छी कट जाएगी. So I chose HR, not even realizing, what I'll do actually later. But then when I graduated from MBA, I got a campus placement in HSBC, and then jobs happened one after another. After that, I came back to India, joined Standard Chartered Bank, then Religare, then IndusInd Bank. Now I'm with Max Life Insurance. So jobs happened one after another. I grew in all the jobs that I was there in. I had multiple national, international assignments to do. So it became interesting. And HR over these years have also, it's almost been 2 decades now. So 17 plus years. So almost touching, in another 3 years, I'll touch 20 years of experience. So it's like seeing 2 decades of HR evolving and transforming itself. So
that's an achievement. And all this time that you have been getting into this, so normally, as we say, that the life is like packed with challenges. So did you face any challenges because you got married, you got kid? So how you have balanced everything?
Yeah, I told you I actually put an underline to something that I said just some time back. I was called back to India to get married. Obviously,
that is.
Yeah, when you do an MBA from abroad and you got a campus placement there, who wants to come back? I'm sure heart in heart, nobody wants to come back. And when you are much, much more younger. But then family obligations did want me to come back. Today, sitting back, I can say, yes, it was against my will, but I took important to you in life. And so that was a decision that I wasn't 100% into it, but I still gave in. And then marriage happened and my child was born, and then it's a roller coaster ride. It's one after another. Once you're a mother, you're always a mother. There is no chutti from that duty. And because there's no chutti, so there is never a time saying, acha, ab to ho gaya, ab bas. Ab jaise my son is giving his boards now, he's in class 10. So I was thinking earlier, boards हो जाएगा बस मैं free हो जाऊंगी. अब boards तो हो ही जा रहा है. Another 1-2 months the boards will be over. Am I free? Not really. I am worrying 11th में कहाँ डालूं? What will he do after 12? Where will he go? Where will he study? And all those things. So I think once you become a mother, then that duty is never off. And I think all of us who work as well as manage household, we all know that it's a multitasking job all the time. देखो, women who are homemakers, who are housewives, they also do multitasking all the time. घर के finances संभालो, कौन बाई आई, कौन मेड आया, कौन आया नहीं आया, क्या खाना बनेगा, and who's sick and who's well, और क्या सामान खरीदना है, everything the housewife does. The working woman probably does double of that, because जितना expectations घर से है उतना expectations office में है. So there are files lying on your desk and you have deadlines to meet. So offices maybe you have to finish all those, and then there are deadlines to meet at your home as well. So we are constantly on the move. We are constantly like, अच्छा ये switch off हो गया, दूसरा करो, दूसरा हो गया, तीसरा करो.
Absolutely.
But the good side of it is maybe you don't get bored. Maybe you are always living life on an edge. Maybe you're always looking forward to getting up in the morning and see, अच्छा आज तो बहुत कुछ करना है. Even though you might not like it, some days you might be like, let me just sleep back and relax. आज तो छुट्टी मिल जाए सब कुछ से. But it's a choice one makes. I will not any woman who's a homemaker or a housewife, because being a mother and a married woman, I completely know how much of work is there in the household. So ऐसा नहीं है कि there's a lesser work at home and there's more work outside.
Absolutely.
If you've chosen, I'm sure, you are a working woman as well, you would know as much as me. If you've chosen to work, then it's your choice. You've chosen to work. You have to fulfill those commitments, and then you have to fulfill ghar ka commitment also. So bringing that balance is always challenging. I'm sure it's for me. It's
for every woman. And right now, since we are in the month of March, and it's all about like empowerment and women. So if I ask you, what are your points that you feel like, okay, these are the necessary changes to be made? Like, empowerment is not just about like using words. It's a deep sense actually, and everyone has to follow. And nobody goes ahead with it. We say we are empowered, but we know how much we are empowered at the end for. So what's your say on that?
See, I would say to start with, why are we being discriminated just by celebrating one International Women's Day once a year and then that's it? So I am a little bit into renditions and writing and poetry. So I run my own poem. So in one of them, there are a few lines which I have written. Those are in Bengali. So I'm originally a Bong, but the sense of those lines are that the days get celebrated, but the promises are not. That I'm a woman for a day, you celebrate that day, but what about the promises you made to me because I'm a woman? Do you respect me as much? Do you give me my space as much? Do you actually believe that I can be God's gift to mankind? Do you actually treat me and pamper like you do that day? Lots of flowers and cakes and chocolates and everything else and balloons and everything one day, and then the rest of the year, what happens to that? So I think more and more Women's Day should not become another commercial event for the card companies and the flower companies to flourish. It should be much more than that. Initially, it was necessary because even in India, women are still far behind than men in terms of, if we talk of the rural village areas, they're far behind. So there's a lot of work to be done. So the first step is obviously promotion, acknowledging, and bringing the fact that there is something called women's. There is a need to respect and to uplift women and all of that. So that's very good. That campaigning, should always continue. But then I think where the campaigning has been successful, especially in metros, there they need to go one step ahead to say, okay, what more for women? Is it a one-day game? Or does it not have to be a one-day gimmick, and can it continue throughout the year?
That is. I agree. I completely agree to you. These are small points. Actually, I keep a note on it. that who said who. So accordingly, like when we discuss on the panel, we keep all these points in mind. Okay, this is the need of the Indian society, and we all are getting ahead towards a different, you can say, modernization. Ultimately, it's not our day, but we celebrate. We just need a point to celebrate. We just need a reason to celebrate. But it's much more needed than celebration, and that is what is the point. And every day, when we talk about empowerment, I get all different mails from different women, and every individual has their own prospect. And it's, of course, the depth is there. The way I understood from your point also, it's very, very nerve-wracking job, because when we talk about empowerment, people think that okay, it is just about celebrating. Okay, women can do so many things, but the empowerment begins from home. Right now, if you see, there is. If I go into the deep, there is lot many things happening, and we don't want to
Yeah.
talk about that point. That unnecessary. Right now, you're my perfect woman for now. So talking about you, like, tell me something about you. Like, apart from all these things, when you're free, how do you spend your time? Like,
Okay. I wouldn't say I am free ever, but there are few things which are of my interests, and that's what I pursue. If you look at how I spend my day, you'll never find a free time. But then there are some things which I give up, I omit, I delegate, both at work and at home, so that I have some time to pursue things that I really want. So apart from a full-time job and being a full-time mother and running a household, whenever I want to pursue my interests. So my interests are, as I said, writing, rendition, poetry. Those are basic. So I'm writing up. I'm in the process of writing a book. I already run a podcast, and I have interest in films. So thanks to many thanks to the Netflixes and the Amazons, that we can come back home late at night, and when everybody's asleep, you can still sneak in and finish a movie or finish your web series. So I'm quite clued onto that, and I like traveling. So है तो
that is
बहुत सारे, बस शौक पूरा करने के लिए टाइम चाहिए बस.
हाँ, 100% सही कहा आपने. ये बात तो 100% है. और जिस
That's
तरीके से अभी हम लोग भी हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स लाइक, अभी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं कि बिकॉज अभी पैंडेमिक ने हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. सो सम ऑफ द अदर वी नो हाउ टू सेलिब्रेट आवर ओन मोमेंट, बीइंग आवरसेल्फ. इट्स नॉट
true.
इम्पोर्टेंट कि हमारे साथ कोई हो तो ही हम सेलिब्रेट करेंगे, तो ही हम मूवी देखेंगे. वी कैन बी कंफर्टेबल विद आवर ओन स्पेस, ओन टाइम ऑल्सो. तो
Yes.
ये चीज तो बहुत कुछ है जो पैंडेमिक में सिखाया. और मैं आपसे भी ये पूछना चाहूंगी कि पैंडेमिक में आपने क्या सीखा?
Pandemic mein, I think I learned the value of spending more time with family during the
Absolutely.
pandemic. Because I was working from home during the pandemic, and we've just started working about 3 months from office. Being at home and trying to maintain that fine balance of actually what we call work and life is what I learned actually. HR में हूँ, बहुत सारी बातें करती हूँ, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस होनी चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. But when it actually dawned on me during the pandemic time, it's then that I probably understood, realized, and practiced the real meaning of work and life balance, because there was a very thin line. हम कब काम करते
ये
थे और कब,
बिल्कुल.
it was all blurred. There was no fine line. See, when you go to office, you get up, get ready, go to office, come back, and that's, office work is over, then you do housework. But when you're at home, you're doing housework as well as office work. So you're constantly balancing, So I probably learned the act of balancing much, much more deeply during the pandemic. That's my greatest learning during pandemic.
That's wonderful. And these days now MBA courses have become a boom now. And majority of the people are trying to head towards MBA and BMS and BBA. So your wishes for all the newcomers who wish to enter the same corporate sector. So what would be your suggestion and your advice for all your newcomers?
Um, I would just say, do not do an MBA or any other degree just because your friends or somebody else told you, or out of peer pressure. See what you like, because the best point today is all fields have prospects if you're good in it. It's
Absolutely.
not like our times or your times when our parents would say, okay, either you become a doctor or you become an engineer, or at the most you
Absolutely.
become a chartered or a lawyer. Now there are thousands of professions, and everybody everybody is doing good in all the professions. If you are good, you can shine in all the professions. So don't come under peer pressure. Don't do a degree just for the sake of doing a degree. Do what you like, do what you think you will be most capable of, and you can shine much, much faster and you can grow much faster. What's the point in doing an MBA
Wonderful.
in let's say in finance when your heart isn't singing? I mean, imagine, as they say, no, if Lata Mangeshkar was to do finance, then imagine kya hota if Sachin
क्या
Tendulkar
होता
was
absolutely.
kya hota, you know? So everybody can
Absolutely.
shine whichever field they want. Or अच्छी बात है कि there are many prospects today, and everybody's making money. It's not about shining. People are also making money in all the fields. So you need to choose your
Yes,
field very, very.
absolutely.
That is more important. Choosing your field than doing a degree. बाकी सब कुछ अपने आप हो जाएगा. Because if you like something, then you'll obviously try to do more of it. You'll spend more time, and obviously you'll grow much faster. नहीं तो फिर तो
Wonderful.
धक्के
So
मार के, you know.
you're very good at career counseling also, I feel.
You think like that? HR, no, HR is like a non-stop job of a conglomerate of different kinds of jobs. You are a trainer, you are a personal assistant, you are like a counselor, you are a lawyer, you are a motivator. There is so much, and then obviously you are a subject matter expert in all of this. When you are in an HR, you're actually doing so many things all at once.
Yes, that
So
is what, because
I
the way you're advocating is perfectly. I felt like I'm speaking to a counselor.
no, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. But probably over the years, having spoken to candidates, having spoken to employees, colleagues, and also I also get called for being guest lectures at few colleges. So over there, going and pepping up and preparing, MBA entrants or aspirants or people who are going to get ready for jobs. I think it's just built into me. It's got in my DNA. So
I
I've
know, I
earned many
understand. You're being
I've earned many an awards from the Economic Times, from Business World, from Times Now, HRAI, all of those. But I've always taken all of those awards for only one category, which is women leadership. I could have chosen to take, wherever there's an option and they want to give me an award, I always ask category kya hai? HR professional, HR leader, ki women leader. And if there is an option that, instead of an HR leader, you can take a women leader, I've always taken women leader. You can see these trophies there. Those are all women
yeah.
leadership. I have many more. Women side mein rakha hai, but I wanted to highlight and I wanted to show my passion for emerging as a women leader more than an HR leader. Uski bahut zarurat hai. That's more.
Absolutely.
You see more leaders, more women leaders all around, then you get inspired. Today, you know what? Who do we see? We see an Indra Nui, we see an Indira Gandhi, we see, somebody who's at the top, jinke bare mein we read in the books. We don't see too many women
Absolutely.
leaders all around us. So we think, acha, ek time ke baad, then maybe women probably will not be able to grow, or maybe ek time ke baad, you get stuck, especially in our corporate world. When you are a business person, like an entrepreneur you are, then sky is the limit, obviously. But when we are in a corporate, then if we don't see too many bosses around who are females, then we think probably our career is limited to there. Uski baad kya?
Understood.
So very, very important that there are more women leaders around. Hamare
Absolutely.
aas-paas.
Absolutely. And yes, of course, because that's what I was about to be asking you. So where are we going to see you in future? Like, what are your future plans?
I do want to become a CHRO because I'm on the anvil to become a CHRO, which is a CPO. Head of. So I already head HR for multiple functions, but I don't head HR for the entire company put together. I'm not like a group head of HR or something. So I want to become head of HR, a group head of HR, a CHRO or a CPO. Definitely, that's one goal. But I then want to leave it at that. After that, I want to pursue academics. That's always been my choice ever since I was a child. If I was not into corporate, I would have been teaching. So I'll get into academics. I don't know exactly what, whether I'll only teach, or I'm already doing my doctorate. So whether I'll teach or whether I will open up an institute on an own, that's for me to decide later. So whether education on an entrepreneurship or education academics, purely teaching, that kind, I will have to see. But definitely after I finish my corporate career, I want to get into academics.
Yeah, but I feel you should go for the leadership because it got that qualities in you. So I feel entrepreneurship is much more better than choosing the other. Rest is all your plans. What comes in, but you got that quality which I can see and feel it about you. You got the quality of leadership very well enough, and you can handle situations. No wonder that's experience that's speaking about. But the way you present yourself is really commendable. So I personally feel rest is all up to your part and what world universe has chosen for you.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, you can decide too many things, but what needs to happen will happen, no matter how much you try.
Yes,
See, with the end of
absolutely.
my plans are very big. If I want to open up an institute, for example, you need a lot of money, you need a lot of funding. Obviously, these days you have VC funding and you have angel investors investing, but then it's a lot of hard work there. So let's see. Let's see.
Universe कब कहाँ से कौन सा रास्ता which door will be opened, you cannot we
Yeah.
can't judge what is going to happen. Is all up to the universal power. So you
Yeah.
just have to wait for the divine and his timings. अचानक से कुछ भी कभी भी हो सकता है because I personally have experience that anything can happen anytime. We think something, but he knows much better plans for us. So we just
Absolutely.
have to completely rely on his plans and leave it on the universe. Let thing happen on its own. So to 100%. And talking about me, see right now today you're my perfect woman. So if I ask you who's your perfect woman in your life and what did you learn from her?
No, my perfect woman has to be my mother because we are three sisters and I'm the eldest of the three. And obviously, I was born at a time when, girls were girls. Girls were not being compared to as, I mean, girls and boys were separate. You know, the notion of a pink for a girl and a blue for a boy, आज की तारीख पे वो उसके ऊपर revolution हो रही है, उस time पे नहीं होती थी. You know, it was separately for boys and girls, and we are a family of three sisters with no brothers. Okay, so
Okay.
in that scenario, with three sisters and no brothers, and at that point in time, my mother brought us up like boys. Never differentiated us or never stopped us from doing anything in life. We could do whatever we want. We could play with whatever kind of toys we want. We could do whatever education we wanted. We could pursue any hobby that we wanted. So even, which is why I am today. My son is in air rifle shooting. You know, he'll be appearing for the nationals. But at that point in time, आज से 30 साल 30 35 40 साल पहले, you know, my mother, I like shooting as well, so I think it's come from me to my she never stopped us. She never stopped us from saying, "अरे गुड़िया से खेलो बंदूक से नहीं." She never said that. Yeah.
That's one.
She never told me, अच्छा अच्छा खाना पकाना सीख लो, बाद में जाके शादी होके खाना ही तो बनानी पड़ेगी. She never said. She said, ठीक है, और खाना पकाने के लिए भाई रख लेना, तुम जो करना चाहते हो वो करो. That is more important. Not many women, get to do this. And my mother has always been a homemaker. She's not any great guns, or she's never worked, or she's also, I mean, she's just a plain graduate. She's also not very very highly qualified. But to have those ideals, and to get that kind of, you were talking of empowerment, I'm talking of empowerment and freedom for any girl, from the childhood, just boosts up your self-confidence. And then if you grow
Absolutely.
up in that circumstances, then you can impart that to your children as well.
It's so true. That's amazing. It's wonderful. And what's your wishes and your say and your advice for all the viewers and readers who have been watching you right now and going to be watching you post we publish this video?
I just hope our discussion, mine and your discussion, has just not been a gossip, has brought in some underlining values to what we are trying to talk about. What you and me are trying to talk about is to say, let there be more power to us as women. Number one, do not discriminate. Treat us as your equal. We don't want to get over you. We want to just be treated as equal. Respect us, empower us, and overall as a society, it'll be better. Overall for a corporate, it'll be better. Overall for your household also, it'll be better. So the more
Absolutely.
power, the more women you respect, the more women you try to start treating them as equals. Overall as a society, you gain. I think that's the underlying message that I want to leave to the audience who've been listening to us so far. To say, ye chit chat baate in a very in a very informal way maybe we are doing, but we're trying to deliver a very strong message to say, now is the time to stand up, or be by our side so that we can shine along with you.
Yes. And lastly, I would like to ask you my personal question. Tell me something about how do you maintain yourself?
नहीं, इसमें इसके ये शौक की बात है. You maintain yourself is शौक की बात है, because you can be as lazy and spend an entire day even without putting a lipstick on. But then because I go to work, and when you go to office, there are certain standards of dress code and maybe the way you have to present yourself. वो करते करते I think वो आदत सी बन गई है. And then see, if you're working from home, you can be in your pajamas and also work, no, which we did for the last 2 years almost. But when you actually have to go to office, you have to make that effort. You have to comb your hair, you have to put on a lipstick at least, and maybe a little bit of a kajal, and you have to wear a good nice dress to go to work. So when you have to do that, then obviously you have to go to the parlors also. You have to maintain yourself also. So that, I think that's a part of all corporate women. You'll see most of the corporate women, they're probably forced to maintain themselves, but that's a good thing. Because
But it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Otherwise, we become lazy, and we try to spend our day, without even doing anything. But the corporate life actually. Sorry, I
Maintaining
missed.
the weight. Yeah. And what about fitness part? Maintaining the weight. I see you very fit enough.
I am currently okay. I do not believe in diets, or I'm too lazy to do exercise. If I get some time, I would go for a jog or for a walk, even if it's a night or an evening or morning. But honestly, I don't do it every day. वो कभी weekends में हो गया तो हो गया. But I'm now into intermittent fasting. That's working for me, it seems. So
Yes.
which may
I have
due to
heard
the
about not many people's.
yeah
But
due to the I had put on a lot of weight, but I'm now doing intermittent fasting. So जब खा रही हूँ तो भर के खा रही हूँ, otherwise नहीं खा रही हूँ. So that's worked for me. And I think whatever works for whatever. Some people can exercise and lose weight, or some people can just go to the gym and keep fit. Some people can do some yoga and keep fit, or some people maybe keep fit by doing the diet. So depends. Depends.
That's wonderful. It was wonderful chit chat
So
between both of us. I really loved it.
let me ask one question back to you. How do you keep fit? Because you seem to be glowing all the time, because it's not the first time that you're doing an interview with me. You've been interviewing so many people all throughout the day. I saw a couple of your interviews today itself, because I was going to interview. So I said, but मैं देख तो लूं, what questions does she ask? And, like you were thinking in your mind, is she a very mature person? What will I ask? I was also thinking, okay, let me see what kind of questions she asked. So I saw you glowing all throughout the day.
Normal chit chat. I myself feel comfortable because this is something I came across in pandemic. I was never into the social media, being into the industry for past more than 12 years. But we are always a backstage people. We never come out and spoke to people. Team and journalism was always a part of me. And apart from this, I'm a skin doctor. But I don't practice these days from past 2 years. I'm not been practicing. Otherwise, I'm a cosmetologist. But that's a separate scenario. I don't practice. I don't give my space and time because I'm always running around for my events and all that. Because I'm more focused towards my publication and my production.
No wonder your skin is so glowing. Pass on some secrets to me. How do you keep your skin so glowing?
Yes, I will. I will for sure. Because in my magazine also, I incorporate few things, beauty from the kitchen and all that stuff. Because I know it's not about we do have mineral makeups and all, but still there is a certain restrictions to be taken and some care has to be taken. We say normally, okay, it's a natural skin. I don't do anything, but it's a myth. No, I do not accept anybody saying that because it's not possible. वो पहले का ज़माना हुआ करता था when people used to say, because that time the diet was different, the
Yes.
habits were different. To work something for us the way we say. If I work out for my body will be maintained. The same is for the skin also. If I take care of my skin will look good. Otherwise, I'll look like, even in right now also, at times I feel, okay, I'm looking so aged because I don't do anything for my skin at times. So that is there, but I don't do any chemical stuffs, but I do all good home remedies. And normally I share in my videos also. So I will definitely share the links with you also.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. I'll wait for
Anyways,
it.
thank you so much. It's wonderful to have you in Perfect Women. Congratulations to be one of the top 100 perfect women of India. And
Thank
we are really proud enough to for your achievements. It's wonderful to see you on the panel, and it will be definitely, I'll be, all the certificates and it will be out by tomorrow. So I'm going to be signing it. So I'll be very happy to see yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really an honor. And I really, really enjoyed this pretty little talk that we had. I just hope we have more of this conversation. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
I'll be joining you very soon again, hopefully. Take care.
you.
And thank you all my people who have been a part in this journey. I can see Supriya Lak, she's writing drinking ample of water is one of the best tip to keep up this fresh and glowing skin. Juice fasting therapy also works. Thank you so much, Supriya ji, for your points. We'll definitely
Mm,
keep in mind for this. Okay.
thank
Thank you, and thank you everyone who
thank
have been a part in this journey. Chalo, anyways,
thank
thank you
you so
so
much.
much. Take care, darling.
Take care.
Stay
Bye
safe,
bye.
stay happy. Yeah, bye bye.
Stay happy. Keep in touch. Bye.
Yes, of course. Take care.